Thank you for the opportunity to be here today, and just excited about being back at practice and preparation for championship number 22. And that's our goal, is win 22. And had a nice bye week, had an opportunity to get out on the road and recruit a little bit, and now we're excited to get back ready for New Mexico.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that. And we'll open it up for questions. We'll get started with John Schaefer.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Does the bye week allow an opportunity for self-scouting? You look back at what you've been able to accomplish these first 4 weeks and then see how you can get better?
Absolutely, and I'd say we have a great support staff with Kevin Wolfhausen, Mike Linehan, Pierre Cormier, who work in our behind the scenes with our football office defensively. And so on Monday of last week and Tuesday, they were numbers crunching and looking at things we did well and things that we definitely need to improve on. And as we were able to get back both on and off the road a little bit, had a chance to come back and look at some of those reports and get a chance to really dive into some of the things that, just like you said, things we did well and ultimately things that we have to improve on.
When you look at the opponent ahead, New Mexico, this weekend, and you look at their offense, what are some of the areas of focus or concern for you?
Quarterback running the ball. He is really talented. They have a running back by committee. They have 4 really good running backs that I wouldn't necessarily say they feature one or another, but they all 4 run the ball really hard and have an option scheme that makes you have to be very assignment sound. And Terry Wilson, little side story is I happened to be at one of his Garden City practices when he was top national junior college quarterback. So I had an opportunity to see almost every Division I institution come to that practice and watch him, and I was just like, wow, this guy's going to be pretty good. Never in the thoughts of, and I knew he went to Kentucky when I was right down the road at Richmond at EKU, but had the opportunity to sort of see him practice up close and personal, and I was like, wow, this kid's pretty good. Thank God he's going to Kentucky. And so, a few years later now, we're playing against him at New Mexico, but he's very talented. From a receiver standpoint, they've had a little bit of issues as far as some players playing and, some things like that. And so, don't necessarily know exactly who's going to be there, but they definitely have some deep threat guys and some good athletic ability out on the edges that, Terry's trying to get the ball to them as far as, just doing different things. But I think first and foremost, we got to be able to stop that quarterback.
Is there a little bit of a target sometimes on a team's back once they reach the top 25 nationally, whether it's at the Coaches Bowl or the AP? I mean, is that ultimately, I'm sure it's a positive, but how do you see it from a coaching perspective, and how do you coach your players up after getting that ranking?
Sure, and I think it's a great honor for our kids for their hard work and all the things that they made sacrifices during the summer and throughout fall camp in order to achieve that. But the season's we still have plenty of games to go, and I think the most important ranking will be the ranking at the end of the season. And as long as we stay focused and take one game at a time, and obviously on our quest for a championship, and we feel like along the way, if we handle our business and keep trying to be 1-0 each and every week within this gauntlet of our conference on the west side, it's going to be tough. And so, and if we are able to finish where we want to finish, I believe we should be ranked. When you look at our Mountain West Conference this season itself, there's been some great games and some great teams, and unfortunately, Fresno, Hawaii the other day, it's just like we're beating each other up, and that happens in some good leagues and stuff like that. But there's some really talented teams in this conference this year, and Fresno was ranked after they beat UCLA, which they deserve that. And we would like as many Mountain West teams ranked as we can, and we definitely want to be the torchbearer for continuing playing good football.
Right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, John.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, John. Looking for other questions? We'll go to Kirk.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering how things are looking in the secondary. You guys have been kind of beat up. Will guys like Dallas Branch and Hawkins and Rashad Scott be available this week, or how are things shaping up there?
Unfortunately, Kirk, Coach asked us not to talk about injuries and stuff like that, but definitely guys are getting back and, getting healthier as we go. But he handles all the injury questions and stuff. I apologize.
Well, I wasn't asking if they're injured. I was asking if they're available.
Yeah, and like I said, Coach will handle that stuff. Okay, thank you.
All right. What are you seeing in their offense that makes it a challenge this week?
Just the pure athleticism and speed. They have a little bit of a tempo element to what they're trying to do, and make people defend 53 1/3 yards of the field. When you have an athletic quarterback that with the ball in his hands, he can run, pass. They do have some really talented receivers that, when Wilson's on and can get them in speed and running, they're a vertical passing threat as far as like to throw the ball deep and downfield, and he definitely has an arm to be able to do that. And then when you spread a team out, which they have the capability of doing, it makes very gap assignment sounds or being gap assignment and sound vital for us to be successful. So again, it just talks about a great athlete with the ball in his hands on every single play. He's a good decision maker. And listening and reading some of the comments from Coach Gonzalez, he wants him to run the ball even more. So I'd rather him not run the ball much and hand the ball off as much as we could. But he's a very talented football player.
They got off to a 2-0 start, and they've lost 3 straight since that. Has their offense gotten away from something, or is it doing something differently? Why do you think they've had not as much success lately, or is that the competition?
To be honest with you, Kirk, I don't know if I could really put my thumb on it. I do know. I think again, just talking about what John asked me about some receivers, is I know they're missing some talented receivers, but it just sometimes the ball doesn't bounce the way that you want it to be. I mean, against Air Force, which again is a total different team schematically for a defense to defend, they had some turnovers in that game and put the ball on the ground. And so if you're going to do those things, even though they're trying to run the ball and establish the line of scrimmage, you're not going to have the success that you want. I don't know if they hit as many deep threats or deep shots against Air Force as they did against like New Mexico State when in some of the other games. So I think it just depends on the execution and and players being able to make plays, coaches putting the kids in the best position to be successful.
You guys have Air Force coming up, so is that a film that you pay attention to in the moment there, or do you kind of wait on that till that's game week for Air Force?
Yeah, we'll definitely wait till Air Force game. I was, because of the fact that we had a bye, I was able to watch that game live, and ultimately defending a triple option team that Coach Long has defended for a number of years, being out in this conference. And looking at it as a guy that our mentor that defends that, you just see how powerful of an offense Air Force is and that style of offense. But we're definitely going to put our thoughts and our ideas, table them for a while until we get ready for that week.